Guys, it's Sunday. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Orly and this is the DIY Designer. I do super fun DIY fashion and sometimes home decor and styling content. I'm basically just completely and entirely obsessed with personal style. The idea that the way that we show up in the physical world should just celebrate all of the wonderful things that make us different and unique and make us us. And DIY is a really great way to do that because you can make it exactly like you want and it's super cost effective and so much creativity. Today's DIY is really fun. It actually feels almost like a throwback to like DIYs I used to do all the time and I just haven't done in a minute. It is a thrift upcycle, a men's thrift upcycle. So it started because I really wanted a like pop of color flannel plaid something. Unexpected color woven into the otherwise kind of muted masculine plaid fabric, which I just think is such a cool kind of mix. So at first I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. We'll paint it with Fabricate, boom, we'll be done. Then I went to the thrift store and I ended up finding this really cool plaid men's jacket. This will be a little bit of a tailoring episode as well. So it's gonna be really fun, tons of info, and as per usual, whenever I sew, something goes terribly wrong, which leads me to needing a solution, which leads me to my favorite part of the whole project to begin with. So there's a little bit of that magic in the mistakes today, which I'm very excited about. Okay, let's do it. So here's the men's jacket that I thrifted. I generally was excited about the oversized quality, but after putting on, I realized that because the shoulders were so wide and the seam on the shoulder was so stiff, it was just really boxy and like not cute boxy, just like too boxy. So first thing I'm gonna do is cut off the sleeves. Now to do that, you need almost like a little pilot hole. You like snip a little bit so you can get your full scissor in. And now you're gonna cut the sleeve pushing against the seam so that you're cutting it as close to the seam as possible, maintaining the full length of the sleeve. Now, the reason I'm not seam ripping it is because I don't need that seam allowance. I'm gonna be removing some width out of the shoulder and out of the sleeve anyway, so there's no need to seam rip it and take all that time. I can just cut it off because I'm gonna be cutting it off anyway. So here we go, I've got raw sleeves. Now, I wanted to move the shoulder up. In order to do that, you're gonna measure how wide you want your shoulder, and then on that place, you're gonna start cutting and gradually go back into the armhole. If you measure both sides, great. If not, you can just take the first one you used and use it as a guide for the second. So again, I'm just shaving off the shoulder and merging right back in with the existing armhole. Now, same thing for the side seams. I know I'm gonna take some volume out of the sides, so there's no reason for me to waste my time seam ripping. I can just cut the whole jacket open. Cut it open and then cut off all of that seaming on one side. So again, I have two raw edges. Now, to figure out how much I can actually take out of the body, I'm gonna use my sleeve as a guide. So I'm gonna line up my sleeve and see how big would the armhole need to be in order for it to fit. That automatically dictates to me how much volume I can take out of the body of the jacket without adjusting the sleeve. I wanna just leave the sleeve as is. I like that the sleeve is oversized. So I'm using that as a guide, and then you can see right there, that's where I would need to take it in. So now I just pin it all the way down. Simple straight stitch, starting at the underarm and just going straight down. You can see I'm probably pulling out, I don't know, maybe 4 inches on either side of the jacket. That's the amount of volume that I'm taking out of the jacket so that it's becoming more fitted. You're gonna cut off your excess, and at this point, if you know the fit is right, you could go in and sort of overlock or zigzag all of your edges. That's something that you'll wanna do at the end when you know everything works. Now I decided to crop it. I'm going a little bit longer than I originally wanted, just so I can make sure that it's right, because I can always cut more later. And it's time to add on the sleeves. Now, when you sew sleeves back on, you're gonna leave the sleeves right side out, but you're gonna sort of flip the jacket inside out so that you are pinning face to face. Anytime I do sleeves, I like to start by 2 anchor points. So I do the shoulder pin and then I do the underarm pin. That ensures that I'm gonna be even, right? So like I know that I'm centered. And now I evenly distribute the rest of the sleeve around and around in a circle because I know I'm guaranteed to have my front and my back even. So just pull everything taut as much as needed. And now you are gonna sew a straight stitch all the way around, putting the sleeve into the jacket. It's gonna look something like this when you're done and nice and clean finished on the outside. Again, you'll do that for both sleeves, and if you like the way the fit, you go back over it with a zigzag stitch or an overlock to kind of clean it all up. I did decide I wanted to crop it a little bit, so again, I just laid it flat, cropped from front to back to front, using my plaid as sort of a guide to ensure that I was straight. You could always use a rotary blade and a ruler as well. Now, time to paint. Super important that you use fabric paint. Fabric paint is gonna blend softly into the fabric, so don't use acrylic paint. By the way, I was watching Emily in Paris, and this whole season's in freaking French. So I was watching it and I'm like, I can't do this, I need the subtitles. So anywho, I'm just gonna paint. So I'm using a flat brush that is almost the exact same width as the section I decided to paint. Anytime you're painting plaid, what you wanna do is just pick one element of the plaid that you are gonna add the paint to over and over again. It automatically dictates anywhere that that plaid twists and turns and changes shape that you are gonna pick that same spot. So I picked the center of that 3 stack to put my pink, and I also painted over the red line because the red didn't really go with my hot pink. Now, if you have elements like this, like buttons or little like snaps or anything, you can take them off and paint and then add them back on, or you can just lift them and kind of try to carefully paint around them. Okay, I need your DIY advice. Help me save this thing. Here's the problem. I moved the shoulder up so high that the sleeve is too short. Like barely. Like really it should be like that, and it's like that. So I just feel like now it looks like a jacket that's too small on me, not like a crop jacket with proper length sleeves. So this is what my debate is. Do you think that I should either just crop it fully and make it I don't know what the name of that jacket is, but like here, this is the same length as the sleeve kind of, or take some of the excess fabric from what I cut off and create like an intentional extension that maybe I paint like all 3 lines pink so it looks like an on-purpose cuff. After much obsessing and taking in all of the comments on TikTok, I decided to do the intentional extension. So this is the piece I'm gonna use, and you can see it's gonna give me about, I don't know, maybe 3 inches more of length, so just as much as I need. This part I'm not gonna show super in depth, but as you can see, the piece that I cut, one side of it was clean finished and the bottom was clean finished, but the other edge was not. So I just cut a little piece that I sewed on. I will then fold the bottom down, fold inside and tack it down. And now I'm gonna end up with all clean finished edges so that when my cuff is exposed, it's all gonna look nice and clean finished. I cut the cuff right off as tight and as close as I could. And now I'm gonna pin this extension on kind of like we did with the sleeve, face to face, right? So the sleeve is still facing outward. The cuff I'm gonna do upside down, so fabric is right sides together. I'm gonna pin it all the way around, again, evenly distributing all of the excess, and simple straight stitch all the way around. Just like the sleeve, same exact technique. And voila, I have these awesome little cuffs that are split open, clean finished. I put the split in the front so it becomes like a decorative detail. And then I thought, ooh, maybe I'll reattach the cuff as like a detail and it'll almost be like a little bell. What do you think? What do you think? Okay, I don't know if I'd wear these jeans with it. They might be a little bit much, but I just got them and they make me so happy. And they were in my DIY folder forever and I could not figure out how to make them. The fit is perfect, like it feels just right. The shoulder's in the right spot. The little cuff, I added this back in, which kind of makes this almost like a bell. So the length feels right. Okay, change jeans. I think these jeans are a little better. I don't know, like fits the vibe better. I feel like I could really put on anything, like black jeans. I'm gonna put on leather pants in a second. It's really cute. I think the pop of color makes all the difference in the world. So even if that's the only thing you do it. I'm into this. I mean, it's so cute. I love it with the sweatshirt. I think I like it more with a sweatshirt than I did with the shirt because it like sucks in the volume of the sweatshirt and the pink and the little cuffs showing. All right, guys, thanks for being here. I will see you next week with another DIY. I'm working on getting back on schedule now that the style language course is actually out. I have all of that time back to focus on some DIYs. So make sure that you guys start tuning in every Sunday. I am gonna do my best to be here every single Sunday with some fresh DIYs for you, giving you lots of inspo. So I hope you all have a beautiful week. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thanks for being here.